Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how quickly life seems to change as we grow older? One moment, everything feels stable and familiar, and the next, we find ourselves navigating the unpredictability of relationships, aging, and personal transformation. Make no mistake, the truth is, change is inevitable, but instead of fearing it, we can embrace it, adapt to it, and even thrive in it. Today, we're diving into how to not just accept change, but to grow stronger and more connected through it. Whether it's the shifting dynamics in our relationships, the inevitable losses, or the unexpected turns life takes, each moment holds the potential to lead us to deeper understanding and greater peace. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. One of the most profound and challenging realities of growing older is the gradual but undeniable realization that the world no longer revolves around you, or at least it feels that way. For years, perhaps even decades, your identity was tightly woven into the roles you played: the devoted parent, the tireless professional, the active community member. You were the one people turned to for advice, guidance, or comfort. Your expertise was sought after, and your presence was a reassuring constant in the lives of those around you. Your days were filled with urgency and purpose because others needed you, and you, in turn, needed them. Your life felt meaningful, and you thrived in this space where you were not just a part of the world, but an essential part of the rhythm of life. But as time marches on, as it inevitably does, the demands on you begin to lessen, and the spotlight that once shone brightly on your life starts to fade. This shift can be disorienting, even devastating at times. It can feel like a quiet, unspoken loss of relevance, a sense that you no longer matter in the way you once did. Younger generations with their boundless energy and fresh perspectives take center stage, while the rhythm of life continues without so much as a glance in your direction. The phone rings less often, the invitations become fewer, and suddenly you're faced with the uncomfortable truth that the world is moving on without you. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that this change means you've somehow become irrelevant, that you no longer matter. But here's the deeper truth that can, if you let it, completely transform your perspective. Your worth was never defined by how many people depended on you. As you enter this stage of life, there's a remarkable opportunity to redefine what it means to be at the center of your world. When you step back from the overwhelming illusion of constant attention, you might just discover an unexpected freedom, a sense of liberation that comes from no longer being bound by the expectations of others. The truth is, the world was never as focused on you as you thought. People have always been absorbed in their own lives, their challenges and their ambitions. They weren't analyzing your every move or measuring your worth the way you might have feared. In fact, this realization isn't dismissive of others, it's liberating. It offers you the chance to shed the weight of external pressures and start living for yourself fully, authentically, and unapologetically. Consider for a moment how much of your energy you've spent worrying about what others think. How many precious moments of joy have been stolen by the suffocating fear of judgment or the constant desire to meet someone else's standard? The reality is, as you grow older, the audience of your life becomes quieter. Not because your value has diminished, but because everyone else is simply preoccupied with their own stories. And you know what? That's not a bad thing. It's a gift. It's an invitation to turn inward and rediscover what truly makes you happy, to pursue your passions, your dreams, your peace, without needing anyone else's permission or approval. Living authentically in this stage of life doesn't mean cutting yourself off from the people who care about you. It means focusing on the relationships and activities that genuinely bring you joy, satisfaction, and fulfillment. It's about recognizing that the quality of your connections matters infinitely more than their quantity. Instead of obsessing over being the center of attention at every gathering, you can shift your focus to the handful of people who truly see you, appreciate you, and love you for exactly who you are. This shift also invites us to embrace the quiet, simple joys of life. The ones that aren't performed for an audience, the ones that are lived solely for our own enjoyment. Whether it's tending to a garden in the early morning light, immersing yourself in a captivating book, or simply sitting in silence watching the sunset, these moments become exponentially more meaningful when they're not weighed down by the need for validation. When you stop striving to be seen by others, you start to notice the beauty of just being. And let me tell you, that beauty is immeasurable. Perhaps the most unexpected and profound gift of stepping out of the spotlight is the opportunity to connect with younger generations in a completely new, deeply meaningful way. Instead of competing for attention or desperately clinging to roles that no longer fit, you can offer your wisdom, your experiences, your guidance. You no longer have to be the star of the show, but you become something far more enduring, the steady, reliable foundation upon which others can build their lives. Your value doesn't disappear, it evolves, and in embracing this truth, you might find a peace so profound, so lasting that you never thought possible. You no longer have to prove your worth to the world because you've already done that time and time again, in ways both big and small. Now your worth lies in simply being present, being real, being unapologetically you. The center of attention may shift, but the center of your life remains firmly within your hands. It is here, in this quiet space of authenticity, that happiness can truly take root and flourish. Aging, as we all know, is not without its challenges. It brings with it an undeniable truth. Your body changes in ways you may never have anticipated. The legs that once carried you effortlessly through bustling streets, up hills, or across sand dunes may now ache with each step. Simple tasks like tying your shoes, bending down to pick up an object, or even getting out of bed now require more effort than they once did. The reflection in the mirror may show a face with new lines, softer contours, and hair that has long since lost its original color. These changes are completely natural, yes, but they often stir up feelings of loss, frustration, and even betrayal. It's hard not to view these shifts as the body's way of letting you down, as though it's failing you when you need it most. For much of our lives, we take our physical abilities for granted. We push through the pain, endure the exhaustion, and simply go on. We don't think much about the intricate systems that keep us moving and functioning. But then one day things slow down. The things we once did effortlessly now take conscious thought and more time. This can be disorienting, especially when our culture reveres youth and strength, treating aging as something to avoid, something to be fixed at all costs. But let me offer a perspective that might just change how you view your body. It's not your enemy, it's your most loyal companion. This body of yours has carried you through every joy, every heartbreak, every triumph, and every challenge. It has weathered storms, healed from countless injuries, and carried you to places you never thought possible. And now, when it slows down a little, instead of seeing it as a betrayal, maybe we could view it as a beautiful reminder of all we've been through and all we've achieved. I want to encourage you to think of these changes not as losses, but as victories. Each wrinkle, each gray hair, each moment of fatigue is a testament to a life well lived, to the stories, the experiences, and the wisdom that your body has accumulated over the years. It's not a sign of failure, but a reflection of everything you've overcome, everything you've endured, and everything that's made you who you are today. Instead of mourning the loss of what once was, let's celebrate the strength and resilience of the body that has carried us this far. And in doing so, may we find peace, gratitude, and acceptance in every step we take moving forward. Aging gracefully doesn't mean pretending these changes don't exist, nor does it imply trying to reverse them, as if we could turn back time. It's about learning to listen to your body with compassion and kindness rather than subjecting it to harsh criticism. It's about honoring the signals your body sends, whether it's a need for rest, a gentler form of movement, or simply more patience with yourself. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It's an act of profound kindness, a way of saying, "Thank you for carrying me this far." In these moments, it becomes about finding harmony with yourself, understanding that your body, with all its new limitations, is still the very vessel that has brought you to where you are. Let's keep going together, step by step, embracing each moment for what it is. This acceptance also requires letting go of comparisons, which is far more difficult than it sounds. How often have we caught ourselves comparing our current selves to the person we once were, or to others who appear to be aging differently? We can't escape the reality that everybody is uniquely shaped by its history of use, care, and circumstance. Comparing your present self to your younger self is like comparing a well-worn, beloved book to one that still sits untouched on a shelf. The wear and tear, the dog-eared corners, and the faded spine don't diminish its value. No, they enhance it. Every wrinkle, every scar, and every line tells a story of resilience, of challenges overcome, of life lived fully and without apology. How much richer is a story when it's been through the pages of struggle and triumph, rather than one that remains pristine and unread? Of course, acknowledging the changes doesn't mean we stop taking care of ourselves, quite the opposite. This is the time to double down on self-care, not out of fear of aging, but out of a deep respect for the body that has carried you so far. Eating nourishing foods, staying active in ways that feel good, and keeping up with regular medical checkups aren't about chasing the illusion of eternal youth. No, these choices are about supporting your body in the ways it needs now, at this stage in life. Maybe movement looks different now. It's a gentle walk instead of a vigorous jog, yoga instead of weightlifting. But it still matters deeply. It's not about defying age, it's about embracing it with all the strength and grace that comes from truly understanding what aging means. It's the realization that with age comes a different kind of beauty, one that is earned, not expected. Then there's the deeper, almost sacred gift of these physical changes. They serve as constant reminders of the impermanence of life, urging us to focus on what truly matters. As the distractions of chasing physical perfection fall away, we find ourselves with more space to invest in the connections, the passions, and the moments that bring us joy. The time spent with loved ones becomes even more precious. The pursuit of hobbies that ignite your curiosity, the quiet moments of gratitude, and the simple acts of kindness are the true treasures that aging allows us to savor more fully. And as your body changes, remember, it is still the vessel through which you experience life's wonders. It allows you to feel the warmth of the sun on your face, the comfort of a loved one's embrace, and the quiet satisfaction of a task completed, no matter how small. These moments don't require a body that is perfect or without limitation. They only require a body that is present and willing, a soul that is open to the richness of the world around it. So let go of the illusion that aging is something to battle against. Instead, begin to see it for what it truly is, a transition into a new kind of strength, one that is quieter perhaps, but no less powerful. Your body may not be what it once was, but that's okay. It's the body that has carried you through all of life's chapters, and now, together, you will continue on. Each step, each day is a testament to the resilience and growth you've both endured. There is beauty in this, there is power in this. Embrace it, and know that your body, despite the changes, is still worthy of gratitude, respect, and love. Together, you and your body have grown, adapted, and endured, and together you will continue to do so, finding beauty in every stage of the journey. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. A harsh and deeply human truth about aging is that not everyone will walk this journey with you until the end. Friends who once shared your laughter, family members who were your anchors, and even life partners who once celebrated your victories and shared in your sorrows may not be by your side forever. Whether through the inevitable passage of time, distance, or the heartbreaking finality of loss, relationships shift, and people, no matter how dear, leave our lives. This truth can strike with a sharp, unrelenting pain, especially as we grow older, and the weight of absence becomes heavier with each passing day. The truth is, no one is immune to the experience of loss, and as we age, we come to realize just how precious the moments with our loved ones truly are. In our younger years, it's so easy to take companionship for granted. We're surrounded by friends, family, colleagues, and the constant hustle of life. We move through our days with the comforting presence of others, rarely stopping to fully appreciate the people who fill our lives. But as time moves on, those circles of connection inevitably begin to shrink. Loved ones pass away. Relationships drift apart for reasons we can't always control. The quiet moments of solitude, once rare, begin to feel more frequent, and the spaces once filled with laughter and conversation start to feel emptier and quieter. This reality is painful, undeniably so, and it's okay to grieve the relationships you've lost, the bonds that have faded, or the loved ones who have slipped from your grasp. Grief is not something to be brushed aside or minimized. It's a reflection of the love you shared, a testament to the depth of connection you once had. Grief in its truest form is a beautiful thing. It's proof that you were fortunate enough to experience a love so deep, a connection so meaningful, that the absence of that person can never be filled. The ache you feel in the absence of someone dear is a reminder of just how much they mattered, of the impact they had on your life. It's a space of longing, yes, but also a space of love, and the love doesn't vanish when the person is gone. It lingers, it transforms, and in time it becomes part of the essence of who you are. So as you face the inevitable losses of life, allow yourself the grace to mourn, to miss, to cherish the memories, and amid that grief, remember that you're not alone. Your journey is sacred, and it's yours to walk, no matter how many people are by your side. But amid this grief, there lies a profound opportunity to honor the memory of those who have left by embracing the precious life you still have. The truth is, no one is meant to stay forever, and as hard as it is to admit, we cannot control how long we share this journey with others. Relationships, much like the seasons, each bring something unique and beautiful into our lives. Some are fleeting yet deeply impactful, leaving imprints on our hearts, while others endure for decades, growing and evolving as we do. Instead of focusing on the end of these connections, what if we chose to focus on the richness they brought into our lives while they lasted? The stories we shared, the laughter, the lessons learned, all remain a part of who we are. These people don't truly leave us. They live on in our hearts and in the decisions we make each day, in the way we choose to live. But here's the other side of this truth. As some people leave, new faces, new hearts, and new friendships may enter our lives. These new relationships don't need to replace the ones we've lost. Instead, they can bring fresh joy, purpose, and meaning to our lives. A chance conversation in a grocery store, a neighbor's friendly wave, a shared passion for a hobby. It's never too late to forge new bonds. While these new relationships may not carry the same history or depth as those we've lost, they still hold incredible potential for creating new connections that can light up our hearts in ways we didn't expect. Opening yourself to new friendships is not a betrayal of the past, but rather a testament to your capacity to love and connect, to remain open-hearted despite the pain of loss. This journey also teaches us to treasure the relationships we still have, not allowing time to slip by unnoticed. How many of us wait for the perfect moment to tell someone we love them, or to reach out when we know we should? Life's fleeting moments are too precious to leave unspoken, so take the time. Make that phone call, write that letter, visit when you can. Don't assume the people who matter to you know how much you care. Show them. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to forget that these moments of connection, no matter how small, are the lifeblood of a meaningful life. As we age, we realize how unpredictability rules our existence. Every moment with a loved one is a gift, not to be postponed but cherished, as if it might be our last. As you navigate the shifting landscape of relationships in old age, it's just as essential to nurture the most important relationship of all, the one you have with yourself. Solitude, often misunderstood as loneliness, can be a wellspring of profound growth and self-discovery. Use this time not just to mourn what you've lost, but to reflect on your journey, to explore passions that may have been on the back burner, and to find a sense of peace in your own company. When you learn to enjoy being with yourself, the absence of others becomes less daunting, and you realize that this alone time can be deeply fulfilling. Embracing this solitude is not a rejection of relationships, but an affirmation of your independence, a celebration of your personal growth. Ultimately, the impermanence of relationships is not something to fear, but something to accept with grace. Each goodbye, though excruciating, makes space for new experiences, new opportunities, and new connections to form. Life is not measured by the number of people who stay in our lives, but by the depth and richness of the relationships we've had along the way. So, hold on to the memories of those who are no longer with you. Let their lives inspire you to live fully, to love deeply, and to connect openly. Keep their stories alive within you and use them to guide the way you live the rest of your days. As you look around at the people who remain, allow yourself to embrace them wholeheartedly. The beauty of relationships lies not in their permanence, but in their presence. The way they enrich our lives while they are here. As you do so, You'll find that even though not everyone will be by your side forever, the love you've shared with them will echo throughout your life, leaving it marked with meaning, depth, and an ever-present sense of connection. Change is inevitable, and it is one of life's few constants. As we age, the presence of change feels more pronounced, its force more startling and overwhelming. Loved ones move away, or sadly, they pass on. Our familiar neighborhoods evolve, new technologies redefine how we interact, and even our bodies and minds undergo changes we might never have anticipated. These changes, at times, can feel like the erosion of the life we once knew, a life that felt stable, reliable, and full of certainty. But resisting change is like trying to stop the tide with your hands, exhausting and futile. Change will come whether we resist it or not. The sooner we stop fighting against it, the sooner we can find peace in its flow. Accepting change doesn't mean we erase the past or ignore the losses we've endured. It simply means we learn to coexist with the reality of impermanence. Every moment, every season of life is fleeting, but it's also a doorway to something new. Think about times in your life when you were forced to adapt to major changes, a new job, a move, a shift in family dynamics. At first, it might have felt overwhelming, insurmountable, even painful. But over time, you found a way to adjust, to make peace with the new circumstances, and eventually you found joy and meaning in them. These moments are proof of your resilience and your capacity for growth, no matter how difficult the change may have felt at the time. As we age, the nature of change shifts. It might be the empty nest after children have grown and left, the loss of a beloved partner, or the need to downsize or move into assisted living. These shifts might feel like endings, but they are also beginnings. The empty nest could become a space to rediscover hobbies or deepen your relationship with yourself. A smaller home may offer the gift of simplicity and freedom from burdens, allowing you to focus on what truly matters. The loss of a partner, though deeply painful, might lead to new relationships or a deeper connection with your inner world. These changes, though challenging, are also a reminder of your ability to navigate whatever life throws your way. Embrace them, for they are the very things that will allow you to grow, adapt, and flourish in this next chapter of your journey. Embracing change also means staying curious and open to learning, even as time continues its inevitable march. The world today can often feel like a whirlwind, a rush of new technologies, cultural shifts, and ideas that seem so foreign, so intimidating, that it's easy to feel left behind. It's tempting to want to retreat into what's familiar, to cling to the comfort of the past. But here's the beauty of change. It's not something to fear. It's an opportunity to grow, to engage, and to stay vibrant. Imagine the thrill of learning to navigate a smartphone, not just to send a text, but to video call your grandchildren who live miles away, allowing you to see their faces and share precious moments. Or think about discovering a new activity, maybe yoga, which was once something you never thought you'd try. Or painting, a creative outlet you'd never considered. These moments of adaptation are not just about keeping up with the world around us. They're about staying connected to life, continuing to grow in ways you never imagined, and finding joy in the unfamiliar. Perhaps the most profound lesson that change teaches us is that it often brings with it unexpected gifts, if we're open enough to receive them. A door that closes in our life can lead us to a window we never noticed before. A storm might uproot everything that once felt stable and comfortable, but in doing so, it clears the path for something new to grow. Change doesn't just take, it transforms. It challenges us to rethink what truly matters, forces us to reassess our priorities, and invites us to evolve into a version of ourselves that we might not have discovered otherwise. How often do we find that the most meaningful chapters in our lives have come not in times of stability, but through the very changes we once feared? It's natural to mourn the losses that come with change, especially as we age. The grief that accompanies these transitions is real, and it's okay to feel sadness for the parts of your life that are now forever changed. You are allowed to grieve what once was. You are allowed to cry over the chapters that have closed, over the friendships that have faded, over the roles you no longer fill. But once that grief subsides, and it will, you're left with a choice. You can dwell in the past, continuously looking over your shoulder, or you can choose to embrace the present and the future it holds. And I believe this is where the magic happens. When you choose to lean into change instead of resisting it, you are deciding to continue living fully. Change may be hard, but it is also a profound opportunity to reclaim your joy and embrace new beginnings, new experiences, and new connections. There is a quiet strength in adaptability, a gentle power that comes from learning how to ride the waves instead of being overwhelmed and swept away by them. Life in all its forms is not meant to remain stagnant. The seasons of life, just like the seasons of the year, are meant to flow, evolve, and teach us something new with each passing moment. Change can be unsettling, even painful, but it can also be beautiful. It invites you to discover new facets of yourself, to find new joys, and to build new ways of connecting with the world around you. So, when change comes knocking, whether it's a small shift or a life-altering upheaval, welcome it as a teacher. Let it remind you that you are not stagnant, you are ever evolving. Let it show you that even as the world around you transforms, your capacity to adapt, grow, and find meaning remains unshaken. Change is a constant in life. While we may wish for stability, the truth is that change is the only true constant, and with it comes the potential for a life that is dynamic, rich, and full of discovery. Every season of life brings with it its lessons, its challenges, and its growth opportunities. Embrace this constant, knowing that within the ebb and flow there are endless possibilities for joy and fulfillment, no matter your age. And here's the key: happiness is a choice. It's easy to think that happiness is something that happens to us when all the pieces fall into place. We may believe that happiness will come when the circumstances align perfectly, when our losses are few, and when life moves along smoothly. But the deeper truth that life teaches us over time, the one that becomes clearer with each passing year, is that happiness isn't something we wait for. It's a conscious decision. It's a deliberate act of choosing to seek joy even in the face of imperfection, even when the world feels heavy. As we grow older, life can indeed feel more complicated. The physical aches and pains that accompany aging can sometimes overshadow everything else. The loss of loved ones, the emptiness in once bustling households, or the limitations of a changing body can all make happiness feel like a distant memory. But here's the secret: happiness doesn't depend on the external circumstances. It doesn't hinge on whether everything is perfect or whether life is easy. True happiness begins within. It starts as an intentional choice to shift our perspective, to choose gratitude over grumbling, to find moments of peace even when everything else feels chaotic. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. As we age, we may not have control over what life throws our way: health challenges, the loss of friends or family, the shrinking of our social circles. But we do have control over how we choose to respond. We can choose to look at what's left in our lives with eyes full of gratitude, or we can choose to focus on what's gone, on what's no longer here. Happiness isn't about pretending that everything is okay or avoiding the sadness that life inevitably brings. It's about choosing to find beauty, joy, and meaning in the midst of it all. Life may be complicated, but happiness can still be found, not by waiting for the perfect circumstances, but by embracing what we have right here and right now. Because ultimately, happiness is not a destination, it's a journey, and it's one that we choose to take every single day. Choosing happiness in the face of aging doesn't mean ignoring the challenges or pretending that life is perfect. It means learning to shift your focus, to turn your attention to what remains rather than what's been lost. Consider the small, everyday moments of beauty that can easily go unnoticed. The warmth of the morning sun as it touches your skin, the pure, unfiltered laughter of a grandchild who's delighted by the simplest things, or the simple satisfaction of completing a puzzle or crossword. These moments may seem trivial on the surface, but they are not. They are the very threads that weave a life of joy. When you pause to truly notice them, when you take the time to savor them fully, you open up the space for happiness to take root, and in doing so, you unlock a deeper sense of contentment that is always available if only we choose to see it. Gratitude, I believe, is one of the most powerful tools for cultivating lasting happiness. It shifts our perspective, inviting us to view life through a lens of abundance rather than lack. Even on the most challenging days, when the weight of the world seems unbearable, there is always something to be thankful for. Perhaps it's the people who care about you, the memories that bring warmth to your heart, or the incredible resilience you've built over a lifetime. Gratitude doesn't erase hardship. It softens its sharp edges and reminds us that there is good in the world, even amid struggle. When we choose to focus on gratitude, we shift our energy, and life becomes less about what we've lost and more about what we still have. It's a quiet rebellion against the negativity that so often clouds our lives. Another essential part of choosing happiness, especially as we grow older, is learning to let go. Let go of regrets, of what-ifs, and of the belief that life needs to be perfect to be fulfilling. By the time we reach our later years, many of us have lived through our share of mistakes, missed opportunities, and dreams that were never fully realized. But holding on to those burdens only keeps us tethered to a past that no longer serves us. Forgive yourself for the things that didn't go as planned. Let go of the narrative that life should have unfolded differently. When you do, you free yourself to fully embrace the life you have now, exactly as it is, with all its imperfections and surprises. In doing so, you open yourself up to a future that holds so much potential for joy, connection, and love. Perspective plays an incredibly important role in the happiness equation. Imagine standing in the rain. One person might curse the clouds, seeing only the inconvenience and discomfort. Another might marvel at the beauty of the droplets as they fall, the fresh smell of the earth beneath, or the life-giving power of the water. The rain, in this case, is the same, but the experience is entirely different. That's how happiness works. It's not about the external circumstances or what happens to us. It's about how we choose to see and experience it. Happiness is an internal choice, a mindset that can be cultivated with practice and patience. Shifting your perspective, especially in later years, takes time and practice, but it's a skill that becomes stronger the more you use it. Happiness, in these stages of life, often comes down to presence, the ability to fully inhabit the moment you're in without being consumed by the past or worrying about the future. The more we let go of the need for everything to be perfect, the more we begin to see that life is already filled with magic, just as it is. The imperfections, the uncertainties, and even the struggles are part of what makes life meaningful. They teach us resilience, deepen our compassion, and remind us of our strength. The beauty of life comes not in its perfection, but in its messiness, in the moments of uncertainty where we find growth and learning. Perhaps the most beautiful aspect of choosing happiness is that it becomes contagious. When you radiate joy, even in the smallest ways, you inspire those around you to do the same. A smile shared with a stranger, a kind word spoken to a friend, or a moment of laughter with family. It all has the power to ripple outward, creating more happiness than you might ever realize. In this way, your choice to embrace happiness doesn't just enrich your own life. It becomes a gift to others. It's a legacy of positivity and connection that spreads far beyond what we can see. So while the world may try to convince you that happiness diminishes with age, know that the opposite is true. Happiness isn't something you find out there. It's something you create moment by moment, choice by choice. It's not about chasing fleeting pleasures or waiting for everything to fall into place. It's about finding beauty in the everyday, appreciating the journey you've already traveled, and recognizing that even now, in this stage of life, there is so much to celebrate. The power to choose happiness has always been within you, and as you embrace this truth, you'll discover that happiness is not about avoiding life's challenges, but about finding meaning, joy, and connection in the midst of them. It's about being grateful for the small things, forgiving yourself for past mistakes, and choosing to be present in the here and now. This, I believe, is where true happiness lies, not in perfection, but in the courage to see life for what it is and to love it all the same, with all its flaws, challenges, and hidden treasures. Embracing the truth of aging isn't easy, but it is liberating. Life in all its fullness is a tapestry woven with threads of joy, sorrow, growth, and change. Aging is not a closing chapter, it is a transformation, a time of profound reflection and a chance to embrace the person you've become after a lifetime of experiences. The harsh truths of growing older may seem daunting at first, but when faced with courage and grace, they reveal themselves to be pathways to a deeper, more meaningful existence. In the end, it's not the years we accumulate, but the richness with which we live them that matters most. Each truth, Whether it's the shifting dynamics of relationships, the inevitability of change, or the challenges of a body that no longer moves as effortlessly holds within it a valuable lesson, an invitation to embrace the next chapter of life with openness and authenticity. These truths are not here to diminish you or make you feel less than. Instead, they are here to free you from distractions, allowing you to shed the weight of unnecessary expectations and truly focus on what matters: love, connection, gratitude, and the beauty of the present moment. As you face these realities, remember that they are not obstacles, but opportunities to grow, deepen your understanding of yourself, and connect more deeply with the world around you. Happiness at its core is not found in avoiding the struggles that come with aging, but in embracing them as an integral part of the human journey. It's about finding joy in the ordinary moments. The quiet cup of tea in the morning, the gentle rhythm of a walk in nature, the warmth of a handheld friendship. It's about cultivating resilience in the face of loss, and understanding that life's imperfections are not something to fear, but rather opportunities for growth and transformation. Every wrinkle, every gray hair, and every scar tells the story of a life well lived. They are not marks of decline, but badges of honor earned through years of perseverance, love, and the courage to live authentically. This time of life is not something to endure or to rush through. It is a gift, a chance to slow down, to savor the small moments, and to prioritize what truly matters. This is the time to deepen the relationships that bring you joy, to rekindle passions you may have set aside, and to reflect on the legacy of kindness and wisdom you are building for those who will follow in your footsteps. The truths of aging remind us that while time changes the way we live, it can never diminish the value of our lives or the love we share. In fact, with each passing year, we are gallowed to live more fully, to give more of ourselves, and to experience life with greater depth. As you move forward, may you carry these truths not as burdens but as gifts, gifts that allow you to see the richness of your journey and the beauty of your evolution. May you find strength in the resilience you've built, peace in the acceptance of the changes that come with age, and joy in the simple moments that make life so beautifully rich. And most of all, may you recognize that the story of your life is still being written. No matter where you are in it, there are still countless pages left to fill. You have the power to shape this story with wisdom, grace, and the unwavering belief that, even now, the best is yet to come. There's a unique beauty in embracing this stage of life with the wisdom you've earned. You've weathered storms, celebrated triumphs, and learned from countless experiences. With each passing year, you have a chance to reinvent yourself, to explore new avenues of joy, and to embrace all the good that is still yet to unfold. So as you move forward, take pride in the journey you've already traveled, and remain open to the adventures that still lie ahead. In the end, it's not the years that define us, but how we choose to live them, love them, and embrace every moment with gratitude and courage. As we wrap up today's reflection on aging gracefully and embracing change, I want to ask you, what have you learned so far? Which truth resonates most with you? Is there something from today's video that you'll bring into your own life and practice moving forward? Please take a moment to comment below and share with us one thing you've learned today that you're committed to applying in your own journey. Your insight might inspire others who are also on this path. And if you liked this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. By doing so, you'll be supporting our community and helping us bring more meaningful content to you. Thank you for being here today. I look forward to hearing from you and connecting with you in the next video.